Youth Advocate Programmes Ireland, YAP as it's known, has helped many children at risk in Louth and Meath over the last decade and more. Advocates from the community step in to work with families in order to build confidence and get them back on track. But what's it all about? Jenny Nulty and Johnny Meehan are with me in studio today, and they both work for YAP. You're very welcome to the show.
Hi Gerry, thanks.
Thank you very much for joining me. Maybe you tell us, Jenny, what the Youth Advocate Programmes Ireland is all about.
It's all about. So we are a community-based, family-focused service. We work with young people and families between the ages of 10 and 18 who may be finding themselves in a little bit of difficulties. So we have up to 15 hours a week for 6 months. That's the model of our programme that we offer our young people and families. So they might be having difficulties in the family home. There might be alcohol, drug misuse. They might be getting into trouble with the authorities, socially isolated. Young people might not be attending school or having difficulties within school in terms of behaviour or even learning. Mental health difficulties, young people with mental health difficulties. They could be feeling suicidal or depressed or linked in with the young people mental health service. Or the parents just actually having difficulty with parenting. So what we offer is that we have an advocate, is a person from the community, just a regular Joe Soap that we bring in, we train, recruit, guard, declare and manage. So all our referrals come from social work. So social work are already involved with the young people and families. So they would have discussed with the young people and families what YAP is all about. So we get the referral, the case manager would link in with the referrer around the goals. What is it that you want us to achieve with the young person? The case manager would go out to the young person's home, meet with the young person and the parents and just say, how can we help? What is it that you want us to do? So they're telling us, the concerns or issues that they're dealing with. So we always ask them, what is it that you want us to do? You tell us. So from the goals that they have set, which can be completely different from the young people and their parents, we come back then and we always have a panel of advocates. So the matching process is the essence really of
Is that
model.
important to get that match right?
Absolutely, yeah.
If it doesn't work, say you match somebody and after a wee while it's not working out, are you flexible enough to change?
We are totally flexible. We have constant contact with the families. We're open to reviewing. It's 6 months that they're with, so of course that's a long time. So we're in constant, the case manager is in constant contact with the family, and there has been instances that it hasn't worked.
Sure,
and we've taken the advocate off and just looked at the panel again. So we recruit all the time, and it's people from the young people's community that talk the talk, that walk the walk, that have the life skills and experience, not necessarily the qualifications. And that's the key to the model, is that we're strengths based as well, where this young person has to be good at something, they have to have an interest. So the lifespan of the case is 6 months and the advocate is matched. So the young person and family have identified the goals and we would support with that for up to 15 hours a week for 6 months.
And is 6 months the line drawn in the sand then? Is that it? Or if you feel there's another 6 might help, is that possible or is that not within your remit?
We do extensions, but we're not open to that because we like to have an exit strategy.
Yes.
We like to work towards that what we agree with the young person and the goals that they have identified will be sustainable after we leave.
And there has to come a point in time as well where you cut the cord, so to speak, and away everybody goes. Johnny, Jenny mentioned there about the range of issues that can arise in any family, and I wanted to just focus on that for a moment. Any family.
Yes, any family. It's not socially isolated to one demographic type of family. We can have different issues from all broad walks of life. More and more what we're seeing is young people in isolation, young people going into their rooms and staying in their rooms, playing with computers, PlayStations, linking up on social media, and that becomes their field, the world, and they can link to the world within the room. But that leaves them socially isolated to link with friends in their own community, to link into the sports within their own community, or other activities that's going on. So really what we would do is look at, what's that issue, and can we bring the young people out and link them to at least one adult within the community who will support them and bring them maybe down to the local sports club, link them in and say, let's give it a go. Let's try it out. The young person might like the Gaelic, might like the soccer or the boxing. Link them in there, so at least they're meeting other young people with the same interest. and in time it connects them back into their own community, and it continues long after the YAP programme goes. As we say, the 6 months, some people will say that sounds a short period of time, but the amount of work that can be there achieved within that because of the confidence and the self-esteem of the young people and the family being built, because we focus mainly on their strengths and say, you are good at this. We praise you, and we look at them and say, okay, we always hear the bad side of it, and we're very quick as society to find out what a young person is bad at and condone them for being bad and that, and that's what we get in the referrals. But when you look at their strengths and you turn around and say, that now is what you're very good at, let's build on that, the young person does grow with confidence, and in turn they connect back into their own community and link in, and it's sustainable long after we're gone for the 6 months.
You mentioned the referral there, and most come from social workers, but I'm just thinking that generally when a social worker is involved, most cases the parents may be struggling. That was one issue you mentioned there, that parents themselves and then children feel the effects of that, unfortunately. But what about, where parents are okay and you have it, the issue is with the child, or a child has problems and maybe the social worker doesn't call? Is there a sort of a catch-all scenario there? How do you get those?
Yeah, I think it's really a partnership with ourselves and the social work, or with CAMHS and the family. It's really working in partnership. It's not doing this in isolation.
But it has to be a social worker intervention, does it?
At the moment, that's our funder. Our co-funder is the Child and Family Service.
I see, yeah.
Now, we are working and talked with other funding streams, such as juvenile justice and the child and mental health services, to see if there's funding streams where they can buy places for the YAP, because it is shown there in a longitudinal study we done with Maynooth University last year, which we launched on the 3rd of March this year, which proved that the YAP model is an effective model in Ireland today.
And what about, I'm coming back to this again because it's something I'm just trying to tease out. If parents have an issue with a child in the age category we're talking about and there's no social welfare involved, can they pick up the phone and contact you?
Currently we don't have self-referrals.
Okay.
We are working on
Would
that.
you like to see that?
Yes, we would, very much so. And we're working on that and even building up our own fundraising scheme at the moment to try and build funds for that, so that we will have money for self-referrals. So that if a family did need a few hours a week with intervention, that they could ring us and there would be funding there available to work on that, or at least lead us into that.
Are issues like this that you mentioned there, Jenny, are they in the minority when you look at, if you take the overall population of family and households?
I mean, each referral that comes in is completely different and we have to look at it, but the model is the same on how we deliver it. So we could go in, say, to a referral that says the young person is just not going to school, but when we go in there we could find that there's actually more happening. So we would always say to the families at the very start that if any concerns come up, we are in conjunct, we have to refer into child protection. But the how we deliver our model and what we actually do is very different. And like last year in Louth, we actually had a year of growth.
In the number of cases? In
the number of cases. We also expanded into a family support programme, which is taking the family actually as a whole. So we're going out to do the needs assessment with the parents, and we have, say, 8 hours a week for up to 4 months, whereas the young people, we have up to 15 hours for 6 months. But we also developed a crisis intervention programme in Louth. It's already in Meath, but it just means that we can respond quicker to a young person that's in crisis. So it's a specific piece of work that we can support them with for a short period of time. Yeah.
But you're saying the cases, your workload is up in Louth last year. Do you have the figures for me? Is it similar there? And does that suggest that the difficulties are growing in families?
Well, we have an agreement with each area. So in Meath, our agreement is 38 cases per year. But last year we did 57 in total, and we did 12 CIS, 15 in total. Louth, we did 22. That was our agreement, but we actually did 35.
So the demand is greater from the parameters that are placed on you at the minute.
And we always have waiting lists. Like in Meath,
there are more. There are more cases.
Yeah, there are. Like in total last year, YAP worked with 579 young people and families nationally. And we had 150 advocates. So that's only coming through social work. So the families that haven't access to social work.
Yeah, so there is a bigger problem out there.
Which is why we need to drive our fundraising.
And I think new social work areas and that around the country are seeing the YAP model as an alternative to other models that have been used, or residential care. They're really looking at, well, how can we maintain the young person within their own community, within their own family, if it's safe to do so, as opposed to alternative, which could be foster care, residential care.
Yes, so they're at home, they're worked with in their own home, and they stay there rather than being taken out of the environment. Now, in some cases, we have to say it's better that does happen, that children or young people are taken out. The advocates, the people that do this mentoring, so to speak, for you, who are they? What age do you have to be? What skills do you need?
Well, our youngest would be probably 20. Like, we've had an advocate who has come back. She was actually a young person on the programme and has come back as an advocate. The range is really from 20 anywhere up, male, female, interests, like whatever they can offer, anything with life experience, that's what we take. And that's what makes YAP different, because it is the grassroots community-based advocates who are managed then by the case manager. So it's the case manager linking in with the other professionals, but it's the community-based and it's given back, and that's what we want, is somebody who's going to talk their talk, because we accept any referral, we don't reject any young person. And just to say about us, what makes us that little bit different is that we have a 24/7 on call all the time for our advocates and for our young people. So that means there's a manager, we take it on call weekly, so that if the young people or parents or advocates find themselves in difficulties, that they can ring and get support.
Are you looking for advocates at the moment?
We will be doing our recruitment drive. We normally recruit twice a year, so we'll be starting our recruitment drive in August.
And where are those positions advertised? How do you hear about them?
It's on our website, yapireland.ie, or it will be on Active Link or local papers, or just...
And how many hours again
it's up to 15 hours
in a
week. But that plan is made with the young person, and it's... So if the young person is in school and we're trying to do homework or soccer, it could be evenings and then Saturdays.
Yeah, and that's Johnny, that's part of the job. They go to the home of the young person. They meet them there. They may take them to activities. Spend time in their own home with them as well. Or is it generally taking them somewhere to do something?
No, it is spending time in the young person's own home.
In the environment there.
In the environment they're in. And it can be supporting the parents, because you could have good fit parents with a child when they're 5 or 6, 7 or 8. Maybe when they get to teenage years, maybe parents need the skills then, how do I deal with a teenager? And, and maybe it can be just that time and space in the young person's life that the parent needs that little bit of direction and support, and often you find is that, you go out and parents and the young people are having an argument over something that's very small, and it blows out of proportion, and what happens is the young person is grounded for something that grounded for 3 months for doing what, and the crime doesn't fit the time.
And the other pair of eyes, the independent pair of eyes, can make the difference in solving the situation. In general, when the advocate goes and works the 6 months with the young person, what is the outcome? Is it generally good, positive, and there's a turnaround, there's a difference?
Yeah, well, I mean, we have our research to say that we do get positive outcomes, and if we can help the young person in one area of their life, then we've actually succeeded. So whether that's with their self-esteem and confidence, whether it's their relationship with their peers or their parents, but also having created that links, because often if you see the typical teenager in the hoodie and track pants, they don't have the confidence to go in on their own to a shop to buy, or go to a coffee shop for lunch, or to see where is the local box. And so if we can combat that and support the young person with actually seeing what's outside of their estate or what's up the road, then that's huge, because that's empowering them with their links within their community, and that's lifelong skills.
If they become very attached to an advocate, somebody in a difficult background, and they feel that the advocate is the be-all and end-all, would that concern you at times? Do advocates know that they have to manage this in a certain fashion, that they don't become dependent?
And that's the first thing we'd go out from. The day we go out is the day we're leaving, is that we are not there to create a dependency. If we're creating a dependency, we're not getting it right, we're not getting the mix right. What we should be looking for is people to be connected into their own communities and using their own strengths and their own family and their own neighbourhood to actually raise the child. And that's really what we're looking at, is that, it's not about making them dependent on us, because if that's what we're doing, we're not really making
yes.
So the case manager would manage that with the advocate, and 2 months towards the end of the 6 months, that would all be managed. There's an exit strategy. The young person always knows when the end date is and what's actually happening. So the contact decreases, but the plan remains the same.
You must get great job satisfaction. Advocates must feel good about this when it works out successfully, which it does in the majority of cases. But you must get a great kick from it.
There is. You get when you see the stories, when you can see the young people coming in at the beginning and the families coming in, and then when they've finished their 6 months, how proud they are of what they've achieved, and for the parents to be then even to turn around and say to their child, "Brilliant, well done. Look how good you're doing." And that's how we do our review meetings. It's all based on the strengths, and it's not about a negative, it's about a strength. And the first time in a room you can see maybe a teacher, maybe the parent or something saying to the child, "This is what you're good at, and this is what I love about you."
Yeah, great.
And that is very powerful within the room. You can feel the atmosphere lift and the young person burst with pride from maybe the first time, and that changed the perception of how they maybe have viewed that individual over time.
And the perception, you mentioned hoodie and some youngsters and that, it brings negative connotation straight away.
Yeah.
But there really is more good in most people than there is the other side.
In fairness, hoodies are very warm for them winter evenings, so there's always a positive.
More issues with boys or girls, or does it break down 50-50? Have you any stats
mix.
on that?
In fairness, it's a good mix. This year now, I think it's in Meath, it's 50-50. Yeah.
Between both?
Yeah.
And the ages, you start again at what age?
8 to 18.
18
is what we're getting now. Usually from 10 to 18 is our main.
Yeah, and in that age span as well, is it more the early teens to the later teens, or again a good mix?
A good mix, and I suppose that's why we always have to have a fresh panel of advocates, because we don't know where our next referral is coming from. Like in Meath, we cover down as far as Oldcastle, right up to Dunboyne, down to Kilmaine and Wood. So if a 10-year-old male advocate comes in, we need to look at that, an advocate suitable for that age. The same way if a 17-year-old female comes in, we need to be able to respond with a good match. So, and
again, no qualifications needed, good grounded person in life, and all the training will be
positive person, because we always look for the strengths.
Yes, very important in this game.
Very important, and have an interest in young people. And wanting to work with young people and show that, as Jenny said, in the positive manner. It's a strengths-based model, and we do all the training. We will do the core module training, so there'll be 4 days of intense training and working in a strengths-based manner, and then we'll also do child protection training. Child protection awareness training for the advocates.
You're doing a great job, and a very important job, quietly behind the scenes in the community. YAP is their name. For more information, people go to your website?
Yeah.
It's www.yapireland.ie.
Very simple. If you're interested in being an advocate, if you're interested in finding out more, if you feel maybe you're in the bracket that you need a bit of assistance, well, the information is there. Go look it up. But for the moment, thank you so much for joining me and telling me all about it.
Can we just mention a fundraiser that we have coming up? As we said, we're always looking to fundraise, so we have white collar boxing coming up in conjunction with the Palace nightclub in Navan on the 22nd of August. So we are looking for a couple of boxers.
Over the age of 18?
Yeah, over the age
over
of
18. Men or women?
Both.
The women are great at the white collar. I've been at a few of them. I've been in the ring myself, and I was afraid I'd get a right hook. I have to say the girls are really better at the white collar than the lads.
We always are. In more things than one, Gerry.
So that's the Palace in Navan.
22nd of August, but obviously the training would start sooner.
And again, YAP Ireland you can be contacted through the YAP website there. Yeah. Thank you for joining me on the show. Very interesting. Continued success with your work, Johnny Meehan and Jenny Nulty. Thank you.
Thanks a million.